Welcome back. I'm excited to have you here for New Comic Book Day, April the 14th of 2021. There's a lot of just fire books and great series that I've already been following that are coming out this week, so I'm really excited to get into the rundown. But before I ramble too long, don't forget to like and subscribe, comment, connect, follow, do whatever you do on the platform you're on. Just look for my furry face inside an orange circle and click all the buttons next to it. So for April the 14th, there is a lot of great books coming out. Up first is DC Comics. I have Batman Urban Legends number 2 on that list. I really enjoyed this first one. It had four different stories. The headliner was Red Hood by Chip Zdarsky, and that was an absolutely awesome read. I'm really excited to see what the next installment of that story is. The Grifter story was pretty solid. I really enjoyed the Outsider story, and I hope that we get a different story in place of the Harley Quinn story. But overall, I thought that Urban Legends number 1, it was a grand slam for me. The Joker number 2, I reluctantly read the first issue of this, and of course I liked it. I never doubted that it was going to be a good book. I'm just kind of tired of how oversaturated the market is with Batman and Joker stuff currently. Hypocritical, I know, because I'm reading Urban Legends, and I went ahead and I'm reading the Joker now, so we'll see what happens there. Superman number 30, I think I read Superman 29, and it really blew me away, and I went back and read Action Comics, or maybe vice versa. But either way, it was a 2-part story. I don't know exactly where Superman 30 is going to go from there, but I really enjoyed the story that was told across Action Comics and Superman 29, so I'm definitely going to stick on for number 30, and as long as Superman's as good as it was for those 2 issues, then I'm really excited to see what happens. I liked Jonathan Kent. I think it was really cool to see him kind of take a foothold on the mantle of Superman and kind of work with his dad and learn what that means, and all the fatherly advice and the great moments that went back to Clark growing up with his dad and everything like that. So I thought it was just Superman 29 and Action Comics 1038, I think. They were a great read, so I'll be with Superman until it goes wrong, From Marvel this week, I have Thor 14. I've really enjoyed the Thor series. I know it has nothing to do with it, but Beta Ray Bill just came out this past week, and it was so good. I'm really invested in the Thor universe at this point, if I wasn't already. But, Thor has been doing this Prey storyline. We had all the Donald Blake stuff. With King in Black wrapping up, I'm interested to see if that means that the Black Winter is coming back, and more importantly, if it's going to be Thor centric, or if it's going, or if Black Winter is going to come back in general, like kind of an event style thing. It'll be interesting to see how they play all that out. So I'm on board with Thor. I've really enjoyed this series, especially since we got past like the Hammer issues and all that. And like I said, Beta Ray Bill really just like solidified how much I really like the Thor universe. So Thor 14 this week, really excited for that one. The rest of the books on my list are the indies, which are, as you know, the best and most important part of any good New Comic Book Day list. So up first is Home number 1. I'm pretty sure this is an Image comic, and I'm gonna grab this one because I read the preview for it, and it's definitely dealing in territory that is very close to my heart, and so I'm pretty sure that this book is going to wreck me, unless it goes in some crazy direction that I don't see coming. But the preview that I read definitely gives me the indication that I am not going to be able to read this without shedding a tear. As Mark would say, these kids have made me soft. But it definitely is touching on something that I think is really interesting and something that affects my life directly. And so if somebody's going to explore that territory, I'm going to be there. So Home number 1 from Image Comics this week. I'm excited to see how this one plays out for me. Aftershock Comics has Undone by Blood or The Other Side of Eden, number 2. I really enjoyed the first series, The Shadow of a Wanted Man, and now The Other Side of Eden is here. Issue number 1 was so good. I love the way that they kind of like paralleled Solomon's story in Mexico, like working with the bandits and everything. They kind of like paralleled that to somebody, a young man that's kind of in with a gang of bank robbers. So you have two people that, they're in with a band of misfits. They're doing the wrong things. And I'm interested to see how they're going to play this story out because, in the first one, we know that Solomon is a man that will do whatever needs to be done. He doesn't really have like a sense, like, I wouldn't call him a hero or a villain, he's very like morally gray. And so we kind of understand that about him, but right now he's kind of looking like a villain. So it'll be interesting to see how he escapes Mexico and how he gets away from this gang of bandits. At the same time, we have this character that it seems like he just got in with these guys and didn't realize quite what he was getting into. They've taken him to rob a bank, I believe was what it was. And, he's questioning, like, should he be doing this? He's a good kid. He's a good guy. Like, this isn't the kind of thing he does. But there also seems to be some reason that he can justify this action if he were to go through with it. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they parallel these stories and give us another awesome arc. I really like the way the first one started. So that's The Other Side of Eden number 2. And then Space Bastards number 4. I'm really excited for Space Bastards number 4 because this series is so much fun. It's like this, I don't know, highly competitive space like if you were an Amazon delivery driver, but if delivering Amazon packages was a death race and it took place in like space. It's really cool stuff. I love the way that they handle the comedy and the action and the drama and the character building and the motivations and the fun that just like kind of goes into all of that. It's a very it's like a very R-rated title, not for kids, but it's also a lot of fun. So if you're into like over-the-top violence and like kind of like buddy cop kind of stuff, with everything being heightened and turned up to 11, then this is definitely a book you should be reading. Scouts Honor number 4. I hate to plug this every time, but I did speak with David Pepos just after the first Scouts Honor came out, and I really enjoyed our conversation. I really love the way that David like builds his world and his characters, and so far Scouts Honor has delivered on all of that. I really, really, really liked that first issue. It was a great introduction to the world, and it set up everything that we've seen so far. The second issue was like had some great action moments and gave us like the perfect amount of character development in the second issue to really attach us to Kit, the main character. And then we also got the crazy twist in the story where we got to see Kit's personal life and like professional life, I guess, are kind of like crossing over here. And so it's going to be interesting to see how Kit can like kind of manage everything that's going on and come out of this on the other side still alive. So there's also some mystery going on. We've seen the Highwaymen have they have some inside information and stuff like that. Kit has some family issues going on and stuff. So there's a lot going on in these first 3 issues already. And I can't wait to see how number 4 helps kind of build that out and kind of show us what path that Kit's going to take from here. Homesick Pilots number 5. This is a book that I'm surprised I'm still reading, but I really enjoyed it. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did, but it's basically I don't really think of it as a horror. Like, to me, there's nothing horror-esque about it. I guess other than like the living house, but I guess we did see like some pretty gruesome murders and some blood in I think the first one. But the thing I've appreciated about this book is how like consistent it's been. The tone and delivery has kind of like followed through every step of the way, and I was really concerned that it would be hard to maintain the level of interest I had in that first issue. But here we are, waiting for the 5th issue to come out, and I'm actually really excited to find out the next part of this story and see where this keeps going. So I've been impressed. I still love the colors. I think the layouts and the artwork is great. And then the writing has just, I don't know, like I said, it's been very consistent. I feel like I've enjoyed every issue the same amount, and that's something that makes a series more memorable than if it's full of ups and downs. So I really appreciate what Homesick Pilots is doing. I really have enjoyed this story more than I expected to, and I would highly suggest anybody that isn't reading it, see if you can get the issues and get caught up, because it's a really great story. Mighty Morphin number 6. Power Rangers is kind of what got me into comics, and I love the Power Rangers comic books. I love the storytelling that's going on. Mighty Morphin, we're at this point, I think the last 2 issues have dealt with the new Green Ranger, the reveal of who that is, both to us as the readers, as well as like the whole world, like Angel Grove and everything. Basically, the last 2 issues kind of covered, first, that happened, and we kind of got the reaction to it from, like, on a larger scale. And then the follow-up issue to that kind of redid that story, but from the perspective of the character that is the Green Ranger, and what the agency behind this new Green Ranger kind of went through, deciding how to handle the, I guess, like the public-facing aspect of this. And so it was a really cool way to round out the story. I'm excited to see where they take it from there. Mighty Morphin has been great all the way through. I really like the way that it feels like classic Rangers. And I mean, it feels like it could still be part of the show. Whereas Power Rangers has pretty much distanced itself from like the show and the campiness and stuff. Mighty Morphin is still there, and so it feels very nostalgic. It feels very classic. And I'm excited to see where this next issue takes us. That's all the books for this week. Pretty long list compared to what I've been having, like really the last, 2 months. The lists have been pretty short, even the bigger ones. This one's got quite a few books on it. I'm excited for a lot of them, to be honest. I don't know. Favorites, I mean, Other Side of Eden is up there. Scout's Honor has been amazing. And we'll do Batman Urban Legends number 2 because I really liked the Red Hood story in that. And the Outsider story. I thought the Outsider story was really cool too. So I'm excited to see how that wraps up. So let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, comment, connect, follow. Do whatever you do on the platform you're on. Just look for my furry face inside of an orange circle and click all the buttons next to it. And until next time, keep flipping pages.